Is the critical age to learning language? Today we'll talk about a fascinating and very human topic. Language. It is essential for learning to speak. Is there a point childhood where if you don't learn language, you'll never be able to learn again?
The critical period hypothesis suggests exactly that there is a window of time during the early years of life when the brain is especially prepared to acquire language. If that opportunity is missed, learning to speak normally can be very difficult or even impossible.
Since it's not possible to conduct experiments where a child is purposely isolated, scientists have studied real-life cases, many of them sad and extreme, that happen due to abandonment, abuse, or unusual circumstances.
One of the first recorded cases was that of Victor, the quilt child of a baron found in the forest of French in 19100. He had lived alone for years, although attempts were made to teach him to speak. He never succeeded.
In the 1970s, the case of Jenny became no 13-year-old girl who had lived in isolation for most of her life because of her father. She learned some words and could understand simple comments, but she was never able to form complete sentences or speak correctly.
But there are cases with very different outcomes. Isabel, a girl found at 6 years old after living locked up with her mute mother, learned to speak in just few months. And Helen Keller, who became deaf and blind before the age of 2, managed to learn how to communicate thanks for the touch and patience for her teacher.
So, why is some people succeeding in learning language and others don't? One of the most accepted answers is that there are key age, a stage, and childhood, where language learning is easier and more natural.
But it's not just about age. Isabel and Helen had love, companionship, and support. In contrast, Victor and Jenny live in neglect and abuse. And that matters too. Language is learned with words, yes, but also with affection.
We can think of the brain as a sponge that absorbs language. At first, it's completely open, ready to soak it all in. But over time, the sponge dries out. It can still absorb some things, but not as easily.
These cases show us that learning to speak is not automatic. We need interaction, contact, and attention, and the sooner the better.
Science still debates whether there is an exact age limit, but what we do know is that without stimulation, without language, and without love in the early years, development can be affected forever.
So it's not just about speaking, but about giving each child a chance to express themselves, to be heard, and to grow with a voice of their own.
Current research continues to explore this phenomenon, although cases like those of Victor and Genio cannot be used as controlled experiments for obvious ethical reasons. They offer visualization.
Yes, early exposure to language is essential, but so is the emotional context.
Is there a really critical age to learn to speak? Maybe. But beyond an exact age, what these cases tell us is something deeper. Language doesn't just enter through the ears, it also comes through the heart. Love, interaction, and care are the keywords for to blossom.